there's a renaissance that is brewing in society. There's a renaissance, and that renaissance is a freedom renaissance, you know, because people are realizing that their freedoms have been stripped away by the big four and by society, by the government, by the international investment groups. And they realize that these people actually have a lot of power, the people that control these things. And they hide behind walls of LLCs and trusts. And it makes it harder to find the money or follow the money. And so people don't know who to point the finger at. Do we need to point the finger at them? Or should we point the finger at ourselves and say, look, I want change. Let me do something about it in my own life. You've got to come to a realization that you are in control of your life. They can do whatever it is that they will do. But at the end of the day, ultimately, the choice is yours for yourself. Mind my dog breathing. The choice is yours for yourself. You can decide to do what you feel you need to do to be free. And what is freedom to you is probably a different idea than me. Anyway, freedom, experiencing freedom, enjoying freedom, however you see fit, however that means to you. That's the focus. The focus of this channel is freedom. And we talk about it. Everybody has their own idea. But is this your idea of freedom? Mind my cat, too. Is this your idea of freedom? Going to work every day, repetitively, doing something that you don't like to do. I know that I'm a diesel technician, but I love it. I love working on trucks. I love working on trailers. I love going on call and getting called out from the customer to go on the other side of town to fix a tractor unit, to fix a truck, to fix a trailer. I love it. It doesn't feel like work to me because I get to, drive over there with my super duper maintenance truck, and it feels like I'm going on operations. It feels like I'm going on a mission. And it's just fun to me. I'm good at what I do. And I might do it for the rest of my life. I just love it. But some people hate it. Some people get into my industry and absolutely hate it. They hate it every day. Because they're not doing something that they want to do. They're not fulfilled in life. They're not fulfilled in the capacity for which they are functioning. The capacity in what they're working. They don't like it. It's not for them. And maybe they're in the wrong place. Maybe they are in the wrong place. Maybe if they go to the shop down the street that offers better benefits, better pay package, and better incentives, they would actually love what they did and being able to afford tools, because that's an expense as well. You're going to break tools, and there are going to be some tool companies that are going to try to give you the runaround. I don't think that Snap-on's not going to give you the runaround, because by experience, I got the runaround quite a few times. Where did I get that tool? All stupid stuff. But Every truck is different. It seems like every tool truck is different, but that's neither here nor there. What does freedom mean to you? Is freedom living on a beach and being able to walk, through the back patio, open the French doors to your house on the back patio and stairs all the way down to the beach? And you get to sit there and contemplate, the meaning of life? Is that freedom? Sounds good. Maybe that's your freedom. Is freedom living in Alaska where the mountains just come right out of the sea, the ocean, and you get to take these long walks on the beach in the cold? Is that your idea of freedom? That's a beautiful idea of freedom. But very few people can actually say what they do for work is freedom. Especially if they work in these offices where it's just a stew of toxicity. A toxic caldo. What would that be? What would that be like to live that life to where I'm going to the office every day and have to worry about these toxic coworkers? That would sure steal my freedom. I wouldn't feel free in that respect. Give it a little bit of darkness. It's raining out here in Texas, in Houston. It's a cloudy day and it's beautifully cool to the tune of 87 degrees. I love it. Some people would call that hot. I call that cool. Yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful. What is freedom? Really? And we need to understand that question and answer that question for yourself. Answer that question for you and your family. Come to a consensus of where you as a family want to be and live your best life, not live on this hamster wheel and not go down with this ship. Because, it seems as though they want to take your freedom in every facet that would enable you to be prosperous in this country. Blackstone. Okay? Buying up all these houses. Excuse me. Buying up all these houses. Also kicking people out of their house and taking over this house. And we see this more and more happen. I see families kicked out onto the street. I've seen old ladies sobbing on their driveway with all their effects, all their household effects on the driveway, and asking them if they're okay, if they need some help. No, I'm okay. My daughter's coming to get me. I remember this old lady. She was saying her daughter was coming to get her. I said, are you sure? Are you okay? She says, yes. I'm just sad because I can't pay my taxes. I'm on a fixed income and they're kicking me out of my home. I said, that's terrible, man. Like, well, you know what? I can't take this house with me when I die. She's like, I'm in my 70s now, and I'm just going to leave this all behind. My husband is deceased. He passed away 10 years ago, a decade ago. And I'm just done. And I didn't think it was going to go out this way. I don't have any money. I says, what about your daughter? She's like, my daughter, she doesn't have that kind of money. She's got a very good job, but she can't take this house over. She can't pay the taxes. And I wanted to ask her, what did she grow up in that house? But I didn't. I just left that where it lie. And this was in 2022 or 2021, right down the street here. And it makes me sad. And the other day I was driving home, and I was on the other side of town, and I saw this I saw this mama. I saw this lady. She was a mother. She was, abuela, abuelita, you know, somebody's. And yet she's homeless. She was out on the street with a sign. And it made me sad. And I was just looking at her as somebody was giving her money. I was on the other side. Otherwise, I think I would have got out and gave her some money. You know, it's terrible. But I'm seeing this a lot, and it's just like I would love to have a lot of land here in Texas. I think I would build little concrete apartments and house all these people and fight the authorities, because I'm sure they would come over with their inspectors and their authorities on, building code and everything like that. I'd be fighting them tooth and nail. Where else are they going to stay? They're going to stay under the bridge. I'm giving them a place to stay. And yeah, a lot of these people have problems. I get it. But they're not getting help either. They're not getting any help from their problems. And many of these people develop these problems while being homeless, because they need to deal with the problems. So drugs, helps them escape their problems, not the alternative that you want to go down. I would suggest having the grit to withstand it and to stay away from, drugs and that. But it's a sad state of affairs, man. It's really sad, the direction that this country has gone. And I would say I hope things get better. I think we all hope things will get better. And I'm going to do a video about, the way we are going to have to live in comfort. If you're seeking comfort in life, if you're seeking happiness, how do we achieve that here in the United States? Right? Because there's ways to go about it. And I'm not going to say it's going to be comfortable at first, because you're going to have to develop your own infrastructure. But if you want freedom, you're going to go get it. Are you seeking comfort? Because you're going to get neither comfort nor freedom here in the near future. If you're allowing them to fool you into thinking that comfort is around the corner, well, you're wrong. Unless you do something about it. Yes, comfort can be around the corner, but right now you have some hard work to do. Are you ready to do that? Are you going to, put your 10 toes to the dirt and start getting to it and start, working towards it and building your life, building infrastructure around you? Are you going to be able to do that? Do you want to do that? Let's talk about it. Because that's the only way I see to be able to be comfortable. The reason why you're not going to get comfort from the powers that be, they want you to feel like you're going to have comfort, but then they're going to pull the rug right out from under you. And they've already been doing that, these insurance companies and that. We don't need insurance. I remember when I was a child, we didn't have insurance. Nobody needed insurance. Nobody needed, vehicle insurance. Nobody needed that. Health insurance, yeah, we did have that. But if you got sick, it would be paid for. They would actually, give you health care. I mean, might have not been the best care, but it was care nonetheless. Now you get neither care. You get neither care or being seen. Even whilst you're paying a premium for that, you're not going to get any of that. Understand that. You're paying essentially here today You're paying for no service. You're paying for nothing. And these people are getting away with it. You know, and that's why I say be careful about all these grifters out there that sell, you know, success manuals and books on success, how to be successful. There's plenty of people out there that do this. And I don't want to say names. You know, there are people like this guy that came from Persia, this guy that came from Iran, and he made it very big out here in the United States. He grew up in Iran and came to the United States, and he's a multimillionaire. You know, he says this is the best country in the world. Yeah, thank you. I agree. I tend to agree in many ways, but it's becoming the worst because of people like that. And he used to sell insurance, you know, and he used to be part of this, like, it was a pyramid scheme, selling insurance. They call it multi-level marketing, but it's a scam. And he got to where he is by scamming people, you know, and he has this successful YouTube channel. You know, he makes a lot of money from the people that watch his channel and subscribe to him. And all he is a con man. That's all he is a con man. And he's got a lot of people fooled, you know. But he served in the army as well as I did. But of course, when things started heating up, of course he got out. You know, of course he got out. He likes to say he's patriotic, but when push comes to shove, you know, he'll run away. You know, because that's what they do. They run away. You know, and I'm not going to put too much shade on him, and I'm not going to tell you what his name is. And yeah, I think it's great that he served in the army. You know, I'm happy to be a brother in a way. But when it comes down to scamming people, that's when I lose it. That's when I lose respect for somebody, when they scam people and they get to where they are because they scammed people. And people like that understand the game, because if they did that in their home country, they'd be in prison for the rest of their lives. And especially in Iran, you know, you would be probably, your head would be probably put on the board, you know. And you know how that goes, right? You've got people like that are grifting. I'm never going to grift people, you know. I'm never going to grift people. If I have products like maybe a t-shirt, maybe a book to sell you, okay. But I'm not going to put you on some kind of program and extract, you know, wealth from you and then tell you that if you're not successful, it's because you're a piece of crap, and, you know, it has nothing to do with, you know, it has nothing to do with my material. And partially that's right. You know, your path is your own. I can tell you what my path was, but ultimately you're on your own path, and it's up to you to be a success for yourself, right? But, you know, that's all I have right now, guys. I hope this gives you value. And if you're watching this channel, man, give me a subscribe, thumbs up this video, and let's kick this material out there. You know, my voice is probably just as valid as anybody else's. And I'm not out here trying to scam people. You know, I think that's disgusting. Scamming people, selling snake oil. I would like to call these people out. You know, I would like to go to that person's channel and be interviewed and call that person a snake oil salesman. That's what I would do. I would do that for you. I would call these people out right in front of them, because I'm tired of watching them do what they do and scamming people like they do. And yeah, it's your fault if you get scammed, but a lot of people they're ignorant to it. They don't understand. All they do is look at the glitz and the glamour, and they're, you know, they're hypnotized by that. Start looking inward and be your own hero, and be a hero for other people that are their own heroes, and be a leader and teach other people how to be a leader. Be a leader of yourself so we can be leaders of collective and fight this bull crap. All these idiots out there with rank and position selling their influence at the highest bidder and driving you further down the hole. Let's fight these idiots.